Wednesday, January 28th, 2026. Today on Bold and the Beautiful, RJ tells Brooke what he thinks of Elektra. Steffi and Elektra make a big sale, and Hayes is excited to spend the night with Will and Dylan. Read the last B&B recap. Dylan and Will bonded as Steffi validated Elektra's insecurities about Dylan. In San Francisco, Elektra tells Steffi how much fun it has been to be on this trip with her. Steffi gets a text that Finn is still at the hospital. Elektra gulps. Steffi feels bad because she knows of Elektra's concerns about Dylan being in Will's space. They tell themselves this will be fine. At the beach house, Hayes impresses Will with his magic trick. He learned it from Miss Dylan. Finn calls to say his patient has taken a turn for the worst. He asks if Hayes can spend the night with them. She puts him on speaker, and Will agrees. Hayes is thrilled to have a sleepover. They tell him he needs to go to bed. "Are you and Miss Dylan going to bed too?" he asks. They blush and send him to brush his teeth. Will tells Dylan how much Hayes likes her. He can see how good and kind she is. Back in San Francisco, Steffi and Elektra meet with Rich and Harmony, who is looking for something bohemian, like a diamond-encrusted peace necklace. They show her a piece, and Harmony says she met Ivy once, or maybe it was just a vision. Rich buys it and commissions the necklace Harmony wants. He invites them to their Enlightenment Festival and then exits with her. Steffi and Elektra are amazed by what just happened. She kicks off her shoes so she can drink wine. She calls Finn, and he informs her that Hayes is spending the night with Will and Elektra. Elektra calls Ivy to tell her this, and Ivy complains they are being way too generous to Dylan. She shouldn't be allowed to spend any time alone with Will. This is too stressful for Elektra, so she hands up. Ivy fumes that Will's living arrangement isn't proper. Elektra and Steffi hope that Dylan will get a job and move on. Steffi assures her that Will is devoted to her and Dylan is sweet. Back at the beach house, Hayes goes to bed and Will asks Dylan to show him her dance moves. When she returns in her outfit, he has music on and has moved furniture out of the way. He sits back and watches her dance. When she trips and falls on his lap, they stare in each other's eyes. Ivy arrives outside and looks in through the window. "It's not proper! It's not proper at all!" she fumes. At Brooks, she's happy to see RJ come in from a swim in the pool and tells him how handsome he is. He notes his dad is working late. Brooks says he has a lot more to do with Eric retired. She's sure he'd like his son working by his side. Brooke tells him the young girls at Forrester are excited to have him around. He's sure it's because he's the boss's son. He admits there are some beautiful women at Forrester, like Elektra. His mom tells him how devoted Will is to Elektra. He's not a player like his dad. Carter surprises Daphne with dinner in the showroom. He ordered French food for once. They sit down, and he admits he borrowed some props from their recent photo shoot. He looks forward to visiting Paris with her as his breathtaking tour guide. He's eager to plan their wedding. They both know Steffi will be her maid of honor and toast to her. She assumes Ridge will be the best man. He suggests they have the wedding there. She's skeptical, but gets up and looks around and agrees it is meant to be. She'd love to marry him where their romance began. In the January 28th episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, Carter planned a romantic dinner date with Daphne. The two have soaked in their engagement, but their relationship didn't start off organically. Daphne was sent by Steffi to break up Hope and Carter. By the way, he still doesn't know their secret. As they make wedding plans, will they set a date? Or will something halt those plans? At Forrester Creations, Carter surprised Daphne with a dinner date. They initially planned to eat at Il Giardino, but Carter suggested they have Parisian food instead, and Daphne agreed. The couple toasted to their engagement, and the conversation shifted to their wedding. Daphne said she wanted women to celebrate her special day. So, it makes sense that Steffi would be her maid of honor. Carter and Daphne toasted to Steffi. What Carter doesn't know is that Steffi hired Daphne to end his relationship with Hope. Their secret is safe. For now. Katie is the only one who knows this, but she's busy building a new fashion house. The happy couple continued to make plans. Carter suggested having their wedding on the runway. Daphne was shocked by his suggestion. Carter understood it wasn't conventional, but fashion brought them together. He believes their romantic connection was organic, but it didn't start off that way. As she looked around the catwalk, Daphne agreed that it was meant to be. She would be honored to get married to Carter in the house of Forrester, where it all began. But their relationship started as a lie. Daphne never told Carter the truth about why she ended up in Los Angeles in the first place, and she's been itching to go back to Paris a few times now. It was previously hinted that Daphne could be keeping a big secret from Carter. This secret could impact their relationship. Most of Carter's previous romances haven't worked out for a myriad of reasons. Normally, he's the one who's in a hurry to walk down the aisle. But something from Daphne's past could prevent him from making a commitment. After all, this is a soap opera. No storyline is without its share of shock and heartbreak. Ever since Bold and Beautiful had Dylan reappear on the scene and start lusting after Will, we've suspected that there was a lot more to the unhoused co-ed than meets the eye. Now, thanks to a group of imaginative fans on Reddit, we may know how much more. As one viewer suggested, Dylan could well be Diana, aka the long-lost daughter of Sheila and Ridge's biological father, Massimo. If that happened, Historical Use Knife Fight 2 pointed out, it would make Dylan, Steffi's aunt, Finn's sister, Ridge's sister. It would be madness. Former External 6952 took the crazy even further, expressing hope for Lisa Yamada's return as Sheila's granddaughter, Luna. Either she and Dylan are enemies since Dylan hit her, or they're allies since they're family. If after Luna held Dylan hostage and before the co-ed supposedly ran down the murderess, they realized that they were related, they could have staged the accident that left Will's rapist dead for a second time. Luna could have sent Dylan in to keep an eye on things, only to have her co-conspirator fall for the object of her obsession herself. Seriously though, so far everybody who has met Will and Elektra in their age range has become infatuated with them at virtually first sight. Any way you slice it though, Bold and Beautiful fans seem to agree it's time to shake things up. The show needs new blood, wrote Slashman78. Between Dylan, the recast RJ, Deke, and Remy, should he turn back up? We just may be getting it. This week on The Bold and the Beautiful, Steffi Forrester will take a sudden interest in Forrester Creations' jewelry department and heads to San Francisco for Ivy's big meeting. Yes, the same meeting that Ivy and Elektra have been preparing for. Elektra Forrester will be thrilled to get a chance to bond with her hero. But what about Aunt Ivy? Queen Steffi just stole Ivy Forrester's thunder on The Bold and the Beautiful, in broad daylight without a mask. The two Forrester women have always bumped heads at the office and often find themselves on opposing sides. The Forrester women's rivalry dates all the way back to when they were warring over the Spencer brothers, and Steffi nearly killed Ivy backstage at a fashion show. Obviously, she never intended to hurt her that badly, but the battle lines were clearly drawn. Since Ashley Brewer returned it to the soap, she and Steffi have been civil, but it's obvious they will never be friends. According to Bold and Beautiful spoilers, Steffi Forrester's meeting that she took from Ivy is a success. In fact, she and Elektra Forrester locked down a massive contract for Forrester Creations. Ivy will have to stand by at the office and watch everyone congratulate Steffi on what should have been her win for FC. Ivy Forrester has been advising her niece Elektra since they arrived in Los Angeles. She only spent one day with Steffi, and she was part of a huge deal and will get a hefty promotion because of it. On top of stealing her jewelry thunder, Steffi's going to steal her niece too. Elektra is going to be so starstruck by Queen Steffi that she's going to forget all about her aunt, and that's only going to upset Ivy even more. Isn't it about time Ivy took a stand at the office and reminded Steffi that her last name is on the front of the building too? The Bold and the Beautiful actress Ashley Jones is ending January with two big changes. Not only has the star booked a new role, but she's also switched up her appearance. Although Jones is famous to soap fans as Bridget on B&B, the actress has many other roles under her belt. Recently, she has been auditioning for other gigs and was in the running for a big role. However, it required Jones to undergo a transformation. If Jones were to be cast in the part, she would have to dye her hair. Although she was still awaiting word, Jones wasted no time in changing up her hair. The actress shared details of her hair transformation on her Instagram. "I self-taped an audition recently. I'm used to this process, but often it feels like tapes go into the vortex," Jones wrote from the salon chair. "I learned this tape was being sent up the ladder to the network. If I got it, I'd need to dye my hair and be on location quickly. I had a hair appointment, so here we are. Changing things up," Jones revealed as her hairstylist went to work. Afterwards, Jones showed off her new strawberry blonde hair. Although it was a big risk, Jones said that she needed to take the leap and hope. Her risk paid off, as she learned shortly after that she had gotten the role. "I did book the role. Deep thoughts in the hair chair about life and hope and hair color, and doesn't your hairstylist moonlight as a therapist?" she captioned the post. Although details about Jones' new role are still under wraps, it's a big moment for the actress. While fans are ecstatic for her, they're also curious when or if she'll return to B&B. Jones' last appearance as Bridget came in October 2025, when she administered a DNA test on Luna's unborn baby. With the latest drama with the Forresters and Logans, it would be a perfect time for a Bridget return. Since there's concern about Eric's health and his designing, Bridget could help. Bridget could return to give her dad a checkup or to have a heart-to-heart where she expresses her worry about his well-being. Until Bridget is needed back at B&B, Jones will be busy with her newest role. Best of luck to the actress on her latest project. Next week on The Bold and the Beautiful, Electra Forrester is going to be at her wit's end with Will Spencer Jr. and his roomie Ms. Dillon. Electra can't kick Dillon out of Will's apartment, though. She's not her landlord. Does Will Spencer have it in him to put Dillon back out on the streets? Keep reading to find out. Bold and Beautiful spoilers coming up. Before Electra Forrester left town, she warned Dillon to stay out of her man's house and in the garage where she belongs. But it doesn't look like the homeless art teacher keeps her word. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers report that Ivy Forrester walks in on Dillon and Will together, and she blows her top. How dare she flirt with her niece's man? In fact, Ivy reportedly tells Dillon to pack her bags and hit the road. Of course, she won't listen. When Electra Forrester returns from San Francisco and gets a report from Aunt Ivy, she and Will Spencer Jr. are going to have a long talk about their relationship. Electra will probably give her boyfriend an ultimatum and tell him that if Dillon doesn't get out of his garage, he can kiss her goodbye. Will Spencer has a bleeding heart. That's how they got in this predicament in the first place. He knows that Dillon has no job, no money, and nowhere to go. Kicking her out of the guest house isn't as cut and dry as Electra thinks it is. Will Spencer wouldn't be able to sleep at night if he thought Dillon was outside sleeping in her car. Is he going to choose the homeless art teacher over his own girlfriend? Carter Walton and Daphne Rose are eager to plan their wedding and set a date on The Bold and the Beautiful. Carter has been trying to get to the altar for nearly a decade now and has been engaged more times than some on the women on the soap. Is he so desperate to land a wife that he is ignoring some seriously red flags about Daphne Rose? We don't know anything about Carter Walton's future wife on the soap, other than she's a fragrance guru for companies creating perfume lines. As a matter of fact, we don't know anything about Daphne's personal life or her relationship history. What if she already has a husband and forgot to divorce him? The Bold and the Beautiful showrunner Bradley Bell teased months ago that the writers were going to explore more of Daphne Rose's backstory this year. Bell hinted that someone from Daphne's past was going to pop up in Los Angeles. Now that Daphne is getting married, it makes sense we will get to know more about her. But the person from her past could be coming to town to try to stop the wedding. According to B&B spoilers, Carter Walton is eager to get his fiancée to the altar to say their I do's before she changes her mind like the rest of his exes. While Carter and Daphne are picking out cake and setting a date, they are going to have to start sending out invitations. We have no idea where Daphne is from or who her friends and family are. But if she has a disgruntled ex back home, he's going to hear about her wedding eventually and could come to Los Angeles to find her. Carter is going to pour his heart and soul into his and Daphne's wedding day. It will literally be tragic if he goes through the trouble to plan the perfect wedding, and then Daphne's ex pops up and ruins the big day. Do you think Daphne Rose is hiding anything from her future husband? Could she already be married to someone else? Even worse, is she some sort of gold digger? The Bold and the Beautiful recap is in for Tuesday, January 27th, 2026. In today's episode, Steffi Forrester Finnegan learns about Electra Forrester's struggle. Meanwhile, Will Spencer and Dylan have a bonding moment. Steffi and Electra have arrived in San Francisco. They talk about getting a lot of old money. Steffi credits Electra for all her hard work. The co-CEO is enjoying spending time with Electra. The jewelry designer feels the same way. John Finnegan calls. The doctor had to drop Hayes Forrester Finnegan off with Will and Dylan. Electra's expression turns concerned. Steffi offers to come back to Los Angeles, but Finn says it'll be fine. After hanging up, Electra asks if Hayes is really with Will and Dylan. At the beach house, Will and Dylan play with Hayes. The girl offers to take Hayes to her apartment for a snack. Hayes wants to stay where he is, though. Will says it's okay, so the adults step aside to talk. Will knows that Dylan is worried about Electra finding out, but they are just babysitting. Electra suddenly calls Will. The young man is sure Electra will do well with the buyers on her trip. Will mentions that Finn dropped off Hayes. Will puts Hayes on speakerphone so he can talk to his mom. After the speakerphone is off, Dylan talks to Electra about respecting her wishes. Electra says she understands and asks to speak with Will. When Will gets back on the phone, he gushes about how much he misses her. Dylan and Will play cards with Hayes. Finn calls to tell them thank you for watching Hayes. The boy is doing great. Hayes wishes Dylan could be his art teacher again. The little boy wishes he could see Dylan every single day. Will wants to know how Dylan got so good with children. The lady says she likes to look at life through their eyes, like each day is an adventure. Dylan talks about getting into art school and how pricey it is. Dylan says dance is her happy place, so Will and Hayes want a performance. Dylan says it would be inappropriate and suggests she can show Will late. Well, what kind of dancing is it, Dylan? Why can't Hayes see too? Over at Forrester Creations, Carter Walton kisses Daphne Rose. Now that she's wearing his ring, all the hearts in Paris are shattering. Daphne says her heart has never been fuller. She says the L word. Carter would have chased her to Paris. He has no intention of letting her get away. Carter can see them waking up together and having a beautiful child. Daphne admits she's had flings, but Carter was different. Things were messy when they first met. Daphne was scared of her feelings. Carter hopes that his love can help Daphne shine ever brighter than before. Back over in San Francisco, Steffi and Electra meet with Dottie Bright and Joseph Beasley. Joseph is impressed that Electra served them wine from their own vineyard. Dottie tries on a design and declares it's fire. After the clients leave, Steffi and Electra toast to the sale. Finn sends a note to Steffi about Hayes still being babysat by Will and Electra. Steffi notices that Electra seems concerned. The girl trusts Will and Dylan, but something feels off about them being alone together. Steffi validates Electra's feelings. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers reveal Electra Forrester and Ivy Forrester are packing their bags next week and heading to San Francisco for work for a few days. That means that Will Spencer is going to be home alone with Dylan, and anything could happen. While Electra Forrester is away, are Will and Dylan going to play? Keep reading to find out. Here's what's coming up next on B&B. Last week on the CBS soap, Electra revealed that she and Ivy Forrester had to go to San Francisco for a few days. She cornered Dylan and warned her to stay in the garage apartment while she was gone, and out of her boyfriend's house. The homeless art teacher reassured Electra she had nothing to worry about, and they even hugged it out. But everyone knows that Electra Forrester should definitely be worried. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers have been hinting for a while now that Will and Dylan were going to hit the sheets. The last time Will cheated on his girlfriend, he was as drunk as a skunk, and Luna Nozawa took advantage of him. Is history about to repeat itself on the CBS soap? There's no way Dylan is going to keep her promise to Electra and stay out of Will's house while she is away. But what if the two roomies decide to pop a bottle of champagne or go out for drinks at Il Giardino? Well, Spencer seems to be a bit of a lightweight and loves to have a good time. Is he going to have too many drinks and accidentally cheat on his girlfriend again? Is Dylan going to stay away from Electra's man while she is out of town? Could she come home and find them in bed together? Ridge Forrester is going to be shocked on The Bold and the Beautiful when he learns that his father, Eric Forrester, is Kate Spencer's new designer. The Forrester patriarch is clearly trying to prove a point after his son retired him from his own company. Oot! Eric might not get the reaction he is expecting from the Forrester Creations gang. Here's what's coming up next week on B&B. Spoilers below. You couldn't help but feel bad for Eric Forrester on the CBS soap. Ridge's dad just wanted one last hurrah on the runway and has been pouring his heart and soul into designs for a new line. Eric was crushed when Ridge Forrester wasn't interested in his new designs and told him to go home and play golf. Then he threw his dad an impromptu retirement party. Rather than getting mad, Eric decided to get even and took his designs to Katie Spencer. Bold and the Beautiful viewers know that Eric Forrester's move was meant as shade towards Ridge. The patriarch probably thinks that his son will beg him to come back to Forrester Creations when he learns he is working at the new fashion house down the block. But that might not be the case. The Bold and the Beautiful writers are always a bit vague when it comes to the legal side of storylines, but spoilers hint Ridge might take his father to court rather than invite him back to work. Ridge Forrester's massive ego seems to be clouding his judgment these days. Rather than make things right with his father, he could double down and force Eric to retire early from Katie's company too. Carter Walton already has launched one legal attack against Katie's new company on behalf of the Forresters. If Eric Forrester even signed a non-compete during his decades at FC, then you best believe that Carter will find it. There also is the fact that Eric sketched some of his designs at the Forresters' office. That means his family might own the rights to them. Do you think that Ridge will beg Eric to come back to Forrester Creations when the truth comes out? Or will he be so furious with his father for working with Katie Spencer that Ridge sticks Carter on him? Would Ridge really sue his own dad?